Well, you may have heard that The Chosen is flying a pride flag. They've caved to the woke mob, and The Chosen, the show about Jesus, is actually pushing an LGBTQ agenda. That's what we're being told. I don't think it's all that, guys. If it were, I would be throwing The Chosen out with Target and all the others, right? Okay, I'm not for this if that's what they're doing, but I really don't think so. Essentially, what we have on The Chosen set, there was a flag that was a little 3-inch pride flag that was found in one of the behind-the-scenes shots. Somebody saw a little pride flag, and they said, "Aha, The Chosen's going woke." We're going to talk about that because what this pride flag proves is that The Chosen does hire people to do work on the show that are not Christian, or at least are not living like Christians, and they're living in some sort of sin, and that is true. That is the case, and we want to talk about if that is a problem, and we will get to that. But I actually sat down with, just before this controversy came out, 2 actors from The Chosen. One of them, you'll see my interview with them. The other, I didn't get to interview them for on record. It's a good friend of mine, Elsa Kurt, who did the interview. I was right there when she did it. But these 2 actors are Quintus, plays Quintus, Brandon Potter, and Vanessa Benavente, who plays Mary, the mother of Jesus on The Chosen. And I want to share those interviews with you. And then at the end of sharing those interviews with you, I'm going to address this pride flag thing on set and try to answer what I think, try to provide for you what I think is the Christian response, the correct, appropriate response from a Christian about this. And do we want to support The Chosen if someone on the set has a pride flag? I'll try to address that afterwards. First, here's my interview with Brandon Potter. All right, I'm here at the NRB conference in Orlando, Florida, and I am joined by a very special guest, Brandon Potter. You might know him as Quintus. You probably recognize by the smile. I've already asked him to forgive me if I accidentally call him Quintus during the interview. But Brandon, thank you so much for joining us on Right America Media today.
Josh, thanks for having me.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about The Chosen here on Point of View on Right America Media and what's going on there. But this wasn't the first thing you did. You have quite a history in film and voice acting and that sort of thing. Is that correct?
That's right. Yeah. So for years and years, I was a voice actor, which is fun. I really, really love it. And then after that, I was a stage actor in regional theater. I worked I was a company member at a place called Dallas Theater Center, and we did excellent plays and got a regional Tony and all that stuff. I worked at the Alley Theater in Houston. I think theater is my first love, but I'm very, very happy to be working on The Chosen.
So what got you started on The Chosen? How did you meet Dallas? Did you just, was it nepotism? Was it what?
No, it's actually kind of a funny story because I'm pretty sure the role of Quintus was maybe not cast, but there was someone in mind for it. Mm-hmm. And the local casting director, I was living in Dallas at the time, the local casting director in Dallas said, "You should see this guy." So I got the script. I was working on maybe a commercial or something like that when I got the script, and I could not stop reading it in breaks of shooting. I thought it was so cool.
Yeah.
The writing is beautiful on The Chosen. Tyler and Ryan in Dallas do an incredible job. Like real live rhetoric and tight dramatic structure, all the cool stuff that you want in writing is there in the scripts. And I thought, this is great. So I showed up to the audition, and Dallas came up to me and he said, I'm not so sure I want to do like this sort of debauched, grape-eating, lazy Roman. But that's what the lines were for. You know, that was in the sides. Sides are like the little scripts we get for auditions. So I said, the first thing I thought was, I think this guy's asking for my input, like my real life creative input, which is shocking. Most directors don't do that, especially not in an audition.
Yeah.
So I said, well, what if he's good at his job and he likes his job? Why don't we try to play it like that? He said, yeah, I like that. So we started with the audition. Instead of saying action, he says, here we play, which I think is wonderful. It kind of fosters a sense of like creativity and fun and curiosity. But here we play. And we really got to go back and forth and create something together instead of just me trying to prove that I was good enough, which sometimes auditions turn into that.
Mm-hmm.
We worked together to make something, and it was an amazing experience. And I left the day thinking, like, even if I don't get this part, I had a great day acting. Yeah. And then I did get the part, and every day was like that. You know, we got to make something together. I wasn't just embodying his vision. We were building something together, and he does that with all the actors. He's an incredible collaborator and an amazing creator.
Well, and that's one thing that a lot of people have said about, especially the character Quintus in The Chosen, is that even if you hate what he does, and I think we all do kind of hate, you know, you're kind of the bad guy, you know, but we love the character. It's a well-crafted, unique character.
Thank you.
What is it like to play a character like that?
I love playing Quintus. I don't love Quintus, obviously, but I love playing him. I like playing him because you can be as quick and sharp as you can possibly be. And that requires like an engagement of your mind and your imagination. So that's just already kind of thrilling to play a character like that anyway. I also get to show up every day to work and just be a jerk, which is kind of nice. No, not in real life. I just play one. But it's been a blast playing this guy and getting to be this sort of glib, crass guy with figures like Jesus and Matthew is also very, very rewarding. They're incredible performers, and I love working with them. But I like bringing a dash of sarcasm to their earnest and passionate emotions, I suppose.
Right.
Yeah.
So, as far as the message of the show, it's really neat to see not just a movie about Christ or about the apostles, but to see a show where you're seeing these characters develop. You're seeing characters that start out as bad guys turning over to protagonists. And what do you think is the message of the show? Do you think the message is important? What does it mean to you personally?
Well, I think you kind of said it, because, you know, if you get a movie about Jesus, that is 2 hours, a discrete amount of time that you really have to sort of hit the high points, right? But this is a multi-season historical drama about Jesus, seen through the eyes of people who were close to him, right? And because of that, the multi-season nature of it, we really get a chance to drill down in the humanity of not only Jesus, but the people who surrounded him. And I think getting the time, more than just the 2 hours that you would normally get in a movie, it allows this story to be intimate, to look deeper into people's lives and what is affecting them. And as it turns out, the things that truly affect us as humans matters with our relationships and with our families and with faith. Those issues in the Bronze Age still come up today in the same ways. They're relatable, is what I'm saying. That because we can expand this story out and really take time with the intimate details of people's lives, we see something of us in them, that human aspect. And that's something that The Chosen does incredibly well, I think.
Yeah, for sure. There's certainly no doubt about that. And I'm really curious to know what's going to happen to Quintus, if he's going to be one of those going to stay bad. Or...
I'll never tell. You're just going to have to watch the show.
We'll get it out of you. We have ways of making you talk. No, well, another question I have is really, as in this, and I don't want to get too personal, but, you know, feel free to refuse the question, but are you a Christian, and is this something that has strengthened your faith, or is it, you know, just sort of a nice story? How do you see that personally?
This is an amazing story that we're telling. And it requires people of all faiths, all demographics, to work together to make it. And all kinds of faiths and all kinds of people get together to watch it. I can't imagine a more beautiful story, and I can't imagine a more beautiful end. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, the end result is people getting together. And if that doesn't hearten you, if that doesn't strengthen your faith, then I don't know what will.
Right.
Bringing people together in the way that The Chosen has.
That's great. That's a good answer. All right. So what's next? You guys are filming now, I think, season 4. Is that correct?
That's right.
Do you know when it'll be done? Do you know when it'll be released? Do you have any information?
So I think they're probably about halfway through the shooting schedule right now. So I'm guessing shooting will go on for another 6-ish weeks, something like that. And then the projected release is January 2024.
Okay.
So that's when you can catch season 4. And season 4 comes at you hard and fast and does not stop. So buckle up, everybody.
Will Quintus have a large role in season 4?
Quintus always has a large role, even if he's just in one episode. What are you talking
Will
about?
he harm one of the disciples in season 4?
Wouldn't you like to know?
I would love to know that.
You'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah.
But he is a dangerous man, so I'll leave you with that.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate it. We certainly thank you for all the hard work that you put into the show. So many people all around the world are benefiting from this. They're coming to faith in Christ. This is an important thing, and your part in it is awesome. It's great to meet you.
Right on. Thank you, Josh. It was a pleasure to meet you too, and thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for joining.
Now, you'll notice in that interview, Brandon Potter avoided the question, is he a Christian? He's clearly not a Christian. I mean, that just, that seems very obvious. Or at least he doesn't want to, be known as a Christian. And so that certainly is concerning. But also it tells us something about The Chosen and the creators of The Chosen. They are looking to provide high-quality Christian film, high-quality Christian entertainment. And to do that, they're hiring on the basis of someone's talent and ability, their actual ability in their field, not on the basis of their beliefs, which we're going to talk about in a minute, I think is a good thing. Now, to contrast that, here is Vanessa Benavente in our interview with her. Elsa Kurt interviewed her at NRB this year, and it was amazing. Vanessa, I believe, appears to be a genuine Christian as far as, I can tell. And so you can see the contrast between the two of them, both of them great actors and doing a great job on The Chosen, but different personal views. Here's the interview with Vanessa.
Okay, guys, we are here at the NRB convention. I have with me the very beautiful, very talented Vanessa Benavente. She plays Mary in The Chosen, and what an incredible role that is.
Oh my gosh, it's a dream role, really.
Absolutely. So tell me a little bit about that process of how that role came about and how you felt about taking on, probably the most incredible figure in history.
Oh my gosh, when you put it that way.
No pressure at all.
No, it came to me as so, in a very traditional way. Us actors in Hollywood, we always just go on auditions.
Sure.
We get called in to read for casting, and I was very fortunate that happened to me. They called me in to read, and I got the material and just fell in love with it. And I think that's something across the board. All the cast has talked about how wonderful just reading the material and how incredible that initial contact with it felt. I was one of those, and I think it's one of the best auditions I've ever done. I was super connected, not only with the material. I had just recently been a mom.
Yes.
So, back then my baby was like 9 months old or something like that. So there was something very visceral, that came through, just by reading Mary's initial scene from season 1 where she's looking for Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
That resonates so as a mother, as just any mother, that resonated so much. I actually cried watching that scene. I cried watching that scene because as a mom, and not only you're just watching any mom, you're watching Jesus' mom. So that's how powerful your performance was, by the way. So testament to you bringing this woman and this character. I shouldn't call her a character, but bringing this to life the way that you have. And what a gift for all of us viewers to be able to watch this and learn so much from it. Being on the set, being part of this atmosphere, is it as magical as it seems to us? Because did you know that it would be this huge and this amazing?
You know what? It's one of these things where you start working on a project. You always hope that people will see it.
Sure.
Period. I mean, because you never know.
Right.
And so many things start with, you think, oh, this is a great idea, and people are doing a great job, and in the acting and the writing. I hope really it finds an audience. And of course, this is like almost like the perfect storm with this project, right? Because it's got all the right materials to make it a hit. But you never know. So we were very lucky that we could find such a lovely audience and such devout viewers, and they're always so kind to us, but also so supportive. That I think we count our blessings.
Yeah, that's a perfect way to put it. And it is so beautiful and it's so powerful to watch. And I think you bring an audience that maybe did not really have a connection to their faith before this and start seeing these characters. Now as you bring these characters, these people, this to life for a whole new audience. And of course, for people who already believe and are seeing these through new eyes. And it's just such an incredible thing that you're doing. And the whole thing is amazing because The Chosen it's the first, or it's the largest grossing crowd sharing campaign. Which is just incredible in itself, which tells you right away just how many people this resonated with and connected with. So now we're going to be going there is going to be a season 5. Yeah. So you guys in works?
Well, we are right now shooting season 4.
Okay.
And 7 seasons have been planned out. Hopefully we'll get through all of them. And, right now we're in the midst of doing it.
So exciting. How has this affected your life? Just your everyday life. Has this changed everything for you?
Well, it's changed quite a bit. As we were talking before we started the interview, I'm a mother of 2. And so, life as a mother of 2.
Yes.
It's the life as a mother of 2, regardless of you bake bread or stay at home or no. It's
so true.
It's busy.
Yeah.
But it definitely has there's experiences like what we're having right now, or like a day like today at this convention, where you get to live a little bit, feel like a little bit like an Avenger, like I say.
Yeah, I get that.
You have a worldwide viewership, and you get messages from all over the place and saying how they love this scene or that scene or the show in general. It's so mind blowing sometimes, and it's also because your life doesn't really change that much,
right?
Because you still have to take out the trash and take care of the kids.
Oh yeah, I say that all the time. Yes,
right. It's still kind of like, oh, there's this other persona that you see, then you post things about, and and you get the messages and stuff, and you try to connect with the fans because they're so lovely and they're and they help us so much. I mean, they literally make our show happen. So it's a bit of both. It has changed in the sense that I get to live all these experiences, and at the same time, I'm
still mom, still taking out the trash, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. I hope you do it the way that I do, and what I'm doing is nothing compared to what you're doing, but I still will put on my dark sunglasses as I drag the garbage barrel out and say, I'm a big deal,
Yes. I mean, people in my blog just see me in my pajamas. Half of the days when I'm like putting my baby in the car and saying, bye, and my husband takes her away to school. It's one of those things. Like I always feel like, if I really were an Avenger, one of the Avengers, I would have to change out of my pajamas for sure.
Yes.
So I still get that get to keep my anonymity that way.
So, what I love about this is I'm watching you, and of course I've been watching you on the screen. I love the contrast. I love that, I look at you on the screen and think, here's the most amazing, iconic figure in our history. And here's this lovely, sweet woman who's a mom and has all these relatable experiences. Just such a fun thing to be able to do. So this is a blessing to be able to sit and talk with you. Thank you. Tell me what's next on the horizon for you? Is this like the only main focus project right now, or we have some other things
I have a couple
happening?
of projects in the works, but I focusing right now on being a mom, because my baby is very young still. She's 9 months old. So, to do a lot of work with her, it's tough. So I'm just gonna take it slow, and in a couple of months when she's a little older, I might start
I love that. One more question. What is your shooting schedule like? Like, you shoot for months and months and take a break, or?
In my case, they usually pack my days as much as possible,
Sure.
as much as the schedule will permit. But I have everything is kind of like at the end of the shooting schedule for me. So I haven't yet started.
Okay.
I'm very excited.
Yes.
To get back on set. Because I love it. That's my happy place right there.
I bet. And it looks like you all get along so well. I see, I'm a big TikTok geek, and I see like little videos of you guys all behind the scenes just having such a great time. And what a great experience that must be.
Yes. And again, we lucked out in a lot of different things. And one of them is this amazing cast. And they are not only very talented, but they're incredibly funny and warm. And we really root for each other. We have a little WhatsApp chat between all the cast and whoever comes in new. We add them into the chat because it's just a big family, and we like spending time with each other.
That's
so
beautiful. I think it really shows the flow of the characters, the engagement with each other. It just all looks and feels so real and so believable. So a testament to all of you and the beautiful work you're doing and what you're putting out for all of us. So thank you so much, not only for sitting with me, but for taking on that role, especially as a mom of little ones. That's a big ask.
It's my pleasure. It's my absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Absolutely. Thank you. This was Vanessa Benavente from The Chosen. She plays Mary. She's a wonderful actress and a very, very sweet person. So
thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. So we got Vanessa, we've got Brandon, we got these two almost opposites that are doing this great job, and both are helping to create this show. Now, I think the show should stand for itself. Is the content of the show, is that controlled by a person with proper doctrine on the essential issues? Dallas Jenkins is the creator of the show, and he claims that he has control over all the content and that he intends to present the biblical view on Jesus and the biblical accounts of Jesus in an entertaining way, and he claims to be an evangelical Christian, and everything that I've heard from him sounds like he genuinely is. So I think that's what we need to be thinking about in these issues. Now you say, but he's letting pride flags on the set. He's not just hiring people who disagree, who aren't Christian. He's letting them bring a pride flag on the set. Let me actually play for you Dallas's answer on this. Here's where he responded to this just recently on the Chosen YouTube channel.
So here is actually what happened. So one of our crew members, one of my favorite crew members actually, an independent contractor. Our crew members are independent contractors. So this would be like if you hired a crew to come build your home or paint your office space. He has a 3-inch pride flag on his own personal equipment. He has it on every project that he works on. He's had it on his equipment on our project for over a year. He's been with us for a while. And it happened to show up in the corner of one of our behind the scenes videos for a few seconds. And someone asked about it, which isn't the first time we've been asked about things like that, maybe even that specifically in the past. And we violated our own rule about responding on someone else's turf, and we ended up giving kind of a standard answer that we give when asked about our cast and crew's personal beliefs, which we get asked about all the time. And that was a mistake because this issue is a little bit more nuanced than just a standard, what does your cast and crew believe answer.
Now he's referring to this response. You can see it on the screen there. John Root on Twitter said, "Can you explain why there's a pride flag on set?" And you can see that if you zoom in really close, you can kind of see a little tiny 3-inch pride flag on someone's equipment there. And The Chosen responded, just like with our hundreds of cast and crew who have different beliefs or no belief at all than we do, we will work with anyone on our show to help us portray and honor the authentic Jesus. What they're saying is someone with this view about homosexuality, it differs from us, The Chosen, but we hired them anyway. And they also say, we ask that audiences let the show speak for itself and focus on the message, not the messenger, because we will always let you down. They're saying, okay, someone like this let us down. They'll let you down. They are not condoning the view, right? They're not at all condoning homosexuality with this response. So I think the response is already good. They are absolutely not saying that they are promoting this or getting behind the LGBT agenda or anything. They're just saying they're not telling the guy to, they're not policing what he brings on set when he's on The Chosen. That's the only problem, or the only thing that someone might say is a problem. Let's let Dallas continue.
So to be clear, there was no flag flown. A 3-inch flag doesn't fly anyway. And there's been no statement made by The Chosen about Pride or Pride Month or anything like that. There's no promotion of anything happening, unlike some of the headlines and some of the hysterical rantings we've seen. Now, again, not everyone who comments on this is hysterical. I'm not saying that. Many of you have very legitimate and fair questions. I'm just saying that when you look on social media, you're always going to be shown the most engaging and eye-catching and clickbaity headlines, and it's, I'm sure, going to throw you off sometimes and cause some confusion.
That is the truth.
In our now or never, all or nothing times, this turned into a bit of a culture war, kind of an intra-Christian culture war, and we're getting compared to companies that actively promote whatever woke agenda that people are concerned about. So on our set, just to be clear, this is nothing new. Like I said, we've had for a long time, our cast and crew have wildly different beliefs. They run the spectrum, and they sometimes wear T-shirts or hats that go across the entire spectrum, from a pride flag or a MAGA hat or a Jesus Saves shirt. And no one's been triggered. No one on our set minds. Everyone loves our fellow cast and crew members, including the overwhelming majority of our visitors and like our extras, our background extras who come in and see all of this stuff. And unless people are jerks or don't work hard, we are a huge, we're a family. We're very tight-knit on set, and everyone loves the experience. And our personal policy has always been that we don't police individual workspaces or social media. So when we bring on independent contractors like our cast and crew, just from the beginning, Amanda and I, when we first started The Chosen, and my partner Daryl and others, we've just made it very clear to each other, to our cast and crew, and to you actually, that we do not have a religious or political litmus test for who we hire, and we also do not police individuals' social media or their own personal workspaces, like their own gear, their own equipment, their own T-shirts. And we just made that decision years ago. I'll explain why in a little bit. But our cast and crew can say what they want on social media, and as long as they are not harming anyone else on set, kind of the usual rules of everyone just kind of respecting each other, they're their own person. And even in this last week, some of our cast said some things online that I wouldn't have said, and we talked about it, and I just said, you can say what you want, but I think here's examples of wisdom that we could practice.
Yeah, and I think there he's referring to the actor who plays Thaddeus on The Chosen, who came out in support of his of the crew member who brought a flag on set, and if you guys can walk out the door if you don't like this, and here he's saying, listen, I'm not going to police his Twitter. He's not speaking for The Chosen. He's speaking for himself. I'm just not policing his Twitter account. He can do what he wants on Twitter. He can we're not only hiring Christians. We're not only hiring Christians with proper doctrine. And the bottom line here is this: that if the show is going to provide high quality Christian entertainment, which it has done, if it's going to do that, then it's going to have to hire on the basis of skill and ability, not on the basis of someone's beliefs or their political beliefs, religious beliefs, whatever it is. And so what The Chosen has been able to do is provide high quality, really gripping, great Christian entertainment, really has revolutionized the Christian entertainment industry. Like now you're seeing all kinds of movies and Christian films that are really good, well done shows and stuff that are coming out, and it's shocking what has happened. Really, The Chosen has done that. It's created this atmosphere in this country. It's a wonderful thing. But in order to do that, you have to hire people on the basis of their skill. Now, that doesn't mean that you hire people who control the content or control how this is being portrayed, that are going to start putting in false doctrines and false ideas into the show. You're going to hire some people, and they might be offended by the show. I mean, the show makes it clear that women aren't, that sex outside of marriage is adultery. That kind of stuff is actually talked about in the show. So, like, this is not a show that's promoting homosexuality. It's certainly not the content of the show. The creator of the show, Dallas Jenkins, as we just heard, he's a strong libertarian. He talks about people like Dennis Prager and stuff all the time. He listens to these guys, and clearly thinks that they have good things to say. This is not what it's being made out to be. It's just that he's not going to police everyone he hires and tell them exactly what they have to post on Facebook and how they have to believe. He's going to hire on the basis of who's best skilled to do the project. He even goes on in his defense and says that he's really the minority, an evangelical Christian, as opposed to like a Catholics and atheists and other people that are hired on the set. The point is that the content of the show is controlled by someone who believes the Bible, and that anyone who will help him portray the biblical account of Christ, even if they don't believe it, he'll allow them to do it if it's the best way to portray it. I think that's good. That is a good principle, and I don't see this controversy as proving that The Chosen is dangerous. I don't see that. I'm not saying The Chosen couldn't end up being dangerous. I'm not saying that Dallas is always right. I'm not saying that Dallas might not, next season come out with something that's heretical and I've got to denounce him. I'm not saying that. I'm not trying to make predictions. I'm just saying so far, I think it's good. I support it. I'm praying for Brandon Potter. I told him after we got done talking, Brandon Potter, as we saw in the interview, it seems clearly not to be a Christian, but I'm praying for him. I actually told him afterwards, I shook his hand. I said, listen, I'm praying for you. And I do hope that he comes to know Christ as his Savior. I hope that this show is an influence on his heart and his thinking in that way. But again, Dallas made a great point. If you watch you can go onto the Chosen YouTube channel. If you watch his whole response, I thought it was very well done. Look, it's King Solomon, when he was building the temple, he got laborers and he got wood from Lebanon. He got all sorts of different people were involved in building the temple for God. Even pagan people who didn't believe in God, because it was their job. When you build a church building, very few times do you have a Christian crew that builds the church building. A lot of times you're going to go out and you're going to hire a contractor who's going to bring secular people in, some people who don't believe in the message of the church, but they're there to do a job and they do it well. This is what Dallas is doing. He's presenting something and he's hiring people who can present it well to present a good message. And that's what we need to judge. We need to judge the message of The Chosen. And I have done that. Actually, you can go to my YouTube channel, The Bible Explained. You can check it out. You can look at, I've reviewed every single episode, every single season. I've looked through them all. I've attempted to hold them to account, biblically speaking. And they've done very well, I think, biblically. There's not really anything that you can fairly say, I don't think, about what they've said that's just seriously bad in the show. I think it's all good so far. We'll see. It's only 3 seasons in. There's supposed to be 7 of them. So we'll see how the next 4 go. But anyway, that's my comments on it. Let's hold companies to the fire. Let's be serious about this whole wokeism stuff. But also let's not throw out a show like The Chosen just because they hired somebody who's not a Christian. And that's clear. If they're supporting this kind of thing, clear that they're not acting like a Christian should act. But that doesn't mean that we throw out The Chosen. It doesn't mean we stab each other in the back. We need each other. We need to stand with those who are on our side. And that's all my comments on this. But again, you can go watch my reviews of The Chosen on the Bible Explained. And that's really all I have to say about that. I'll see you next time.